Hi, Zizaran here with a third Sanctum video because it's a very popular mechanic this league and a great way to make currency. If you haven't seen the other videos, I have one video where it's like very thought out, laid out, and just explains Sanctum. And I have a new format I'm doing where I basically play the game and I try as best I can to explain it on the fly. Obviously, these videos are less structured, but I've got a lot of positive feedback from some people that like learning that way. And obviously, I can try to explain things better. But this video is going to be a tier list about the boons and the negative things, the debuffs, also called afflictions. I am going to avoid major boons because they are all S tier and really good, and if you ever get the choice of actually getting a major boon, that's generally always good. Now obviously they usually come at a big cost, like losing 50% of your actual resolve. The biggest major boon is the all-seeing eye, and that cancels all the afflictions, like, you know, oh, can't see a room ahead, see one room less, can't see rewards, cancels out anything. All-seeing eye trumps everything. It's amazing. So for tier explanation, we're going to have S tier is the boons you always pick no matter what. A tier are boons that are great, but you know, like if it's a big risk, maybe don't grab them. B tier, they're nice, not worth going out of your way. C tier are whatever, they're irrelevant, they might like add a small benefit. And D tier are pretty much always irrelevant and you don't care. And obviously, I'm pretty good at Sanctum, so it might be slightly different, but I'll also explain what they do, and you might think, you know, these are great for me. And some, for example, the recover, resolve, etc. might be really good the worse you are at Sanctum. So you have adrenaline vial. This is recover 50% of max resolve on boss room. So if you have 300 out of 600, you will recover to 450. It's kind of whatever. I feel like most of the runs that I actually care about, I either have, you know, obviously sometimes you have no boon runs, then all of these are irrelevant, but if you're doing Eternal Damnation runs, you can't recover resolve anyway. So the things I prefer is things that give you max resolve. I really like that in my relics, and I always keep one relic that is like gain 30 resolve every boss you kill, like max resolve, because that doesn't count as recover. Assassin's Blade, insta-kill the 10 next cards. Honestly, I know it's only 10, but I actually really like this one. Especially if I get it right before one of the harder gauntlets, it makes the room so nice. Now, if you have a glass cannon build that is just one-shotting everything anyway, this is very irrelevant, but especially for a lower damage build, very good. It is probably just a nice to have though. Gold magnet, it's fine. It doesn't really matter that much. Gold mine as well. Like, I feel like I generally get enough coins. The only time I really care about any of these is if I'm doing gold runs. Gold trophy, they're really nice. So unlike these that just give you more golds, like more gold on floor and more gold in general, gold trophy is a investment. It's basically gives you 10% more gold of what you have. So if you have 1,000, you get 100, and then you get 110, then 100. Anyway, it just keeps going up. Whatever. I'm bad at math. This is like the absolute S tier for gold runs. That's the only way you get like more than 10,000 gold. And I think you only need 5,000 for the relic runs, where it's like your gold is converted to tainted relics, etc. They're really good for that. And then you can't buy anything from merchants after you get it. But yeah, absolutely amazing. Hairfoot, I know some people don't like it. In my opinion, it's S tier. Some people say it makes you go too fast. It is 60% movement speed. I love it. It also basically cancels out the 40% slower, so that's less of a pain to get. Lilting Melody, 150 inspiration if you take no damage to the next 2 rooms. Kind of whatever. A lot of people do get hit now and again, so you might not even get it. Traps are slower. Okay, I'm gonna put it pretty high up, but I will explain why I also don't like it. I would probably put it on a meh, and it really throws my timings off. For me personally, Sanctum is a lot about muscle memory. So with Lustrous Pearl, I maybe like dodge into things. Like I like learn like that, like just by doing things repeatedly. Maleficent's Taurus is a 40% less resolve lost if you have inspiration. It's fine. I don't mind having it. Mirror of Fortune, this is S tier. However, you can play in a certain way to make this one better. So what a lot of people do is that they will only take instant rewards, which are a lot less. Like if you have the choice between 30 chaos or 6 chaos, some people will always take the 6. Well, why is that? Well, there's a few neat tricks here. So Mirror of Fortune, it will only double what you have as a reward. So if you've taken everything as an instant reward, but you have 2 divines that are being saved at the end, you're guaranteed that that will be 4 divines. If you have a Miracle Under, you're guaranteed that that will be 2 Mirror of Calandra. So some people are basically only playing for the jackpot and not taking the constant like, oh, 16 chaos, 16 sextants. Now, doing it just for Mirror of Fortune isn't that common. I just wanted to explain that that is a tactic you could use as well. But it's a very common tactic with the doubling or quad, like it doubles 4 rewards or 2 rewards. It's very common with those. People literally like not defer anything to the end. Sometimes just to the end of floor. And for the last one, obviously not to the end of floor. And the most I've had from that has been 10 divines or 12 divines in one run. So it is quite nice to do. Ornate Dagger, 50% more damage, absolute S tier, really, really good, and I love it. Prayer Beads is you don't take damage in the next room. It basically depends what room it is. If it's right before a hard room, it's like at least A tier, or if it's right before a boss, it's really good. But, you know, if it's just in the middle somewhere, it's completely irrelevant, and I don't care. I don't take damage most rooms. Traps deal 50% less damage. Kinda whatever. I don't care that much. I think traps are pretty hard to get hit by, except for the beam. And it usually, like, you only get tapped by it. I don't feel like it, like, stays on me. Rusted Chimes. This is amazing. This is 35 or 25 inspiration when you gain an inspiration. I can't remember which one, but really, really good. As long as you can get inspiration. Obviously, a lot of the special runs you can't. But yeah, between S and A somewhere. Really, really good. Rusted Desry. 50% increased resolve recovered. Nice to have. Sanguine Vial. Monsters have 30% less HP. Almost as good as Ornate Dagger. I really like that one. Scrying Crystal. This is you see one more room ahead. It's amazing, especially when you combine this with unveil 2 additional rooms. You see almost everything. If you get Scrying Crystals and you have like see 12 additional rooms, you see almost the entire floor. And even if you can't see the room types, being able to see where you can dodge afflictions, really, really good. Silverton, 50% cheaper vendor. Really, really good to have. Definitely a fan of that. Silver Chalice, next minor boon you have gets converted to a major boon. It's pretty good. Like a lot of the major boons are really good, and it's not a big downside. So if you can get that, definitely get it. Tarnished Coin, it's 100% more Aureus coins gained when below 50% resolve. I usually don't lose resolve, so it's pretty irrelevant for me. Tarnished Descry, I don't know how you say that. I would say it's S tier because it matters on every run. Honestly, it might just be A tier, but it matters on every run, even the runs where you cannot gain resolve. This will bypass that because you're gaining maximum resolve. Untuned Loot is you gain like 150 or 250 inspiration. I think it's 150. It's nice. Like it's good. Obviously, like it depends like how much you need, right? Vicious Ichor is 20% reduced action speed. I love that. It does throw my timings a little bit, but yeah, I don't know. It's easier on the monsters because I'm just running in a circle. Divinius Gift, it's very whatever. It's just next thing you buy is free, but it also costs. The only time this is useful or good is if you're about to lose all your, let's see, you have lose all your coins at the end of the run, like end of the floor, and you can buy this and you don't have anything else to buy. Wooden Effigy, monsters deal 25% less resolve damage. It's fine, not bad. Enchanted Urn, 30% relic effect. I like it for like when I have relics that are monsters maximum resolve when you kill a boss, like that kind of stuff, but other than that I don't care too much about it. 100% resolve recovery below 50% resolve, kind of irrelevant. Then you have Fountain of Youth, 40% max resolve when you use a fountain. This is like a free run because you can hit so many fountains, so not as good as the S tier or the major boon. That's like you gain a minor boon every time you hit a fountain, but yeah, it's hard to lose a run with that. I feel like somebody in chat is thinking, watch me. This one, monsters deal 40% less damage. This can be really good on hardcore. On softcore, I would probably put it irrelevant because you're very unlikely to get one-shot in Sanctum anyway. But on hardcore, like see at the end can actually one-shot you. So great for hardcore, irrelevant for softcore. You're probably just gonna one-shot everything in softcore. 100 inspiration at the start of each floor. I usually can't have inspiration in my runs, but if you can, it is nice to have. And then Glowing Orb is that you cover 50% resolve when you go below 20. I mean, ideally you don't want to be that low, but yeah, again, depends more like how bad at Sanctum you are. So obviously that can save a run for you. So that were the boons, and we'll go through Afflictions next. And Yeah, I mean, obviously a lot of it's personal preference, but hopefully you sort of see the thought process behind why I've put things there. Now, same thing for afflictions. All the major ones can be potentially run ending, and there are some of the minor ones that can be very run ending as well. Accursed, this is D tier, and obviously S tier, that's the like good afflictions, the ones that you don't mind. And these will end your run. Accursed Prism is whenever you gain a minor affliction, you gain another random one. This is so bad because there's a few ones that are just run ending. Black Smoke, this is terrible because you're in here to find divine orbs, and this makes it harder to find divine orbs and mirrors. It will show you one less room. Fiendish Wings, this is the worst one in my opinion. This makes them immune to slow, so if you have skitterbots, which most people do run, or Sanctum to slow everything down, it'll make everything faster and immune to slow. Floor attacks, this is lose all your coins when you start like a new floor. It's okay. Bad, but you know, it's not the end of the run if you get it. Gargoyle totems, just, you know, there's gargoyles with the monsters. It's pretty free. Golden Smoke, this is rewards are unknown. This is the worst one. Again, you're in here for mirrors and divines, so avoid at all cost. Hemorrhage, this is you cannot recover a soul, but it goes away when you kill the boss, so that's pretty free. I always take that. Honed Claws, 25% more monster damage, definitely scary. And Hungry Fangs is more resolve damage. That one's fine. I don't... Just don't get hit. That's all you need to know. If you don't get hit, you don't lose. Liquid Cowardice. Honestly, I think a lot of people would put this in Gigabad, can end your run. As long as you don't get the minus movement speed at the same time, I don't mind it so much. Especially on characters that have a good way to generate onslaught anyway. So my explosive arrow does have onslaught from a medium cluster. So I don't mind it, but I would prefer not having it. So it's pretty bad. So this is Mark of Terror, which gives you resolve weakness. It's free. I don't mind that at all. Poison Water, get an affliction whenever you hit a fountain. Honestly, almost Gigabad. It's somewhere in between, because you can get one of the bad ones when you click a fountain, and I do want to click a lot of the nice fountains. Blunt Sword, honestly, I almost want to put this in Gigabad because damage is the main thing that makes Sanctum easier. So I don't like that at all, but it's not entirely run ending. Purple Smoke, Afflictions are unknown on your map. Honestly, I don't mind that one as much. I think Golden Smoke's the worst one. And I don't mind the Red Smoke either. But Purple Smoke, I mean, it somewhere in between here. Like, I just try to like be very, very careful with going as little smoky or affliction rooms as possible. Rapid Quicksand, it makes the traps faster. Honestly, I think it's kind of fun on some of them. Depends how bad you are with traps. This can be anywhere here, depending on how bad you are with traps. Red Smoke, this is room types are unknown. I don't feel like that's a bad one at all, unless you're doing something really bad, like a no-hit run. Merchant gives only one choice. It's kind of whatever. Merchant's not the most important thing anyway. So I think that's kind of free. Spiked Exit. This is minus 5% of your max resolve or current resolve on room exit. This one's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. Honestly, it could end your run. It could end your run. Bite Shell, monsters have 50% more life. Anything that makes me kill things slower is really, really bad. Built Purse, lose 20 coins when you get hit. This is free. You ideally just don't get hit and then no downside. Powdered Blindfold, I hate it. It's one of my least favorite ones. I play almost entirely by looking at the map in the middle of my screen. I barely look at the game itself. That's more like, it's not like it's my peripherals looking at it, but it's kind of like I'm subconsciously looking at the stuff going on the screen and mainly looking at the minimap in the middle of the screen. That's why whenever I'm playing on like demos and stuff, people are like, remove the minimap. I'm like, what else do you people look at? That's all I look at. What do you mean? You're asking me to be blind? So it's like, honestly, for me, I would put that in Gigabad, but I think most people wouldn't. Most people, honestly, probably are psychos and don't have the minimap open in the middle of their screen all the time. 50% fewer choices on the vendor. Whatever, I don't mind that at all. Unhallowed Ring, 50% increased vendor prices, kind of free. Minor. I mean, honestly, a lot of these can be interchangeable. Chains of Binding, the mobs will like give you like a debuff that slows you a little bit. It's 20% move slow. It's very free. Don't mind that at all. Unholy Urn, this is free for most people, but it is Gigabad. Well, okay, it's just bad if you have the show two less rooms, because 2 less rooms will then be show 1 less or more room. because they're relics, you can do that, show 2 additional rooms. So it's really bad for that. 50% reduced resolve recovered, free. I don't mind that at all. Voodoo Doll is more resolve lost when under 50%. I mean, it's bad if you're under 50%, but just don't get hit. There's a trend here. Look how much stronger you'll be if you don't get hit. Weakened Flesh, minus 100 max resolve. That one's pretty bad. You know, if you have a lot of resolve, it's not a problem. If you don't, it's a big problem. Worn Sandals, I hate that one. It's awful. I hate it. And it makes everything so much harder. It's one of the worst ones. 40% less movement speed. This one is cannot have resolve Aegis. That's a non-downside. It's just if you have energy shield, your energy shield Aegis doesn't work. 50% less coins found, kind of whatever. Concealed Anomaly. This is the volatile things that follow you around. It's bad, but you can play around it for sure. Just don't backtrack. Dark Pit drops to 100% more damage. Not a big issue. Deceptive Mirror, arguably the worst one. This will only work when you're about to find something really good. If you find something bad, it'll let you go there. If you find something really good, it won't let you go there. It doesn't actually work like that, but it feels like it. It's like a chance that it takes you to a different room. Door attacks, minus 30 coins on completing a room. It's decently bad. Chests don't give coins, also decently bad. So generally, that's how I think about the afflictions for Sanctum runs. It's all going to be slightly individual. That's why I try to make sure, like, explain why I think that way and what they do. And yeah, it will depend on how good you are at Sanctum and what kind of build you're playing as well. Like, you know, I think you're inting a little bit if you're trying to do Sanctum on a build that's not meant for it, especially now that you can do it on anything. You really want to have a dedicated Sanctum runner. Like EA is really good, SRS is really good, Shockwave Totem, Ice Spare Totems, like, you know, there's so many things that are really good for it. And if you really want to focus on Sanctum, you ideally do want to build for it. You don't want to do like, sure, like people like Karn and Alkaiser are doing it on Bone Shatter and other people are doing Glacial Hammer, but it will be better if you have a specified build for it. Either way, I hope you guys liked the video. Let me know if you want more tier list things with me explaining my thoughts like this and if you learned anything from it. But yeah, sub if you liked the video, but more importantly, try to die less than I do.